Perfect. Hey, everyone. I want to thank you for joining us on the Monday night Quick Start Opportunity call tonight. We are extremely excited because of everything that's starting to happen right now. But I'm going to kind of jump right to the meat of everything, and then we're going to go ahead and have a quick discussion right afterwards and explain some of the things that are happening right now and see if we can keep this under 25 minutes for everybody tonight. So, folks, if you probably noticed right now, let me go ahead and get past this real quickly here because this was a apologize, this from last week. We're going to start right now. Okay, so if you probably noticed, our privacy is under attack. You really can't watch a show, whether it's USA Today or MSNBC or even ABC News, as we just learned from a YouTube video, that you're finding out more and more things are happening with your privacy when you're talking on the phone. And folks, I want to tell you that there has been an initiative by the Senate and the House to actually push forward what they call the U.S. Freedom Act. But this bill that was pushed forward in the wake of Edward Snowden was actually killed in the Senate because the powers that be really did not want to put a clamp on the government's ability to grab your communication and your data off your phone. That being said, they couldn't wait until, I think it was February 14th, for President Obama to actually sign in an executive order on cybersecurity. And I think we're going to see some fallout from that here in the coming weeks on different agencies going to start kind of taking hold on what's happening online right now. That being said, last year, if everybody remembers the protesters that were happening because of the people that were getting killed as a result of interaction with the police officers, well, there was a protest group out there in Chicago that was out there and was protesting what was happening around the world and specifically here in this country. And the Stingray devices, which we're going to talk about here very shortly, were being used to capture the conversation of the protesters in the group. Interesting enough, there's a group called Anonymous, and Anonymous was actually tapping in to the communication center for the Chicago Police Department and recording it, putting it up on YouTube so that everybody could hear exactly what was happening. Remember, this is December 6, 2014, just a few months ago. Right after that, Illinois made it a felony for its citizens to record the police and record any judges, any district attorneys. Of course, the story is very long there, and the media really kind of became silent on this right then. Imagine that. They're doing all this, but yet they wanted to make a felony if you recorded the police doing any of these bad acts. Well, right after that, Congress passed a bill which grants unlimited access to communications of every American. You kind of see a theme that's going on here right now. What's more amazing is the device we were talking about was Stingray. The Stingray devices, if you notice this map right here, these are different states that are utilizing this technology, not just federal agencies looking for terrorist type stuff, but they were actually utilizing this to various reasons, find out what's happening on and stuff. And there's some other stories happening up in Tallahassee, Florida, which I'm not going to dive into it right now, but kind of lead right into this. Then last but not least, the NSA has kind of came out, shock, that it makes problems for the NSA if any kind of encryption is being used. Folks, I can only tell you that, look, January 12th, the FBI says it doesn't need a warrant to track your cell phone in public. You probably start seeing a trend that's happening here right now. Well, if you've been watching, we all know who Edward Snowden is. We all know that he basically kind of gave the secrets of what the NSA is doing. Well, there was a documentary done called Citizen4. A lot of people don't realize that Citizen4 won an Oscar, kind of one of the best documentaries. And if you see the young lady over there on the left-hand side, second in, that was actually Edward Snowden's girlfriend that's standing right there. And of course, this kind of goes through the whole process, but it's very interesting that it didn't get a whole lot of press, but was right there. On the call tonight, we have our CEO, John Froming, and John's going to really kind of talk a little about the privacy and talk about some of the costs that is happening with the American public and our tax dollars and everything as we go forward, but more importantly, the privacy that we're losing right now. John, can you hear me okay, buddy?
Yeah, I can hear you, Greg. Can you guys hear me pretty well?
Great. Go right ahead, John.
All right, great. So basically, and then thank you, Robert, for doing such a great job, and thank you, everybody, for being on this call right now. It's so important in this day and age for us to really start to kind of observe what's going on in our society, and in not just the United States, but around the world. But if you want to really dig deep, there's this device called Stingray, which is actually used by local police departments. And what Stingray does is it's a little device about the size of a DVR, or sorry, a DVD player or an iPad. And what it does is it fits in the back of a cop car, and it can actually even be handheld. And it acts as a cell phone tower, so your cell phone's always trying to find the nearest cell phone tower to make a call with. But what it does is when you actually make that call, it will connect to this device. Your cell phone will not know that it's connected to the device. And the police officer, the criminal, whoever has this device can actually listen in on your phone call. And shockingly enough, there's about 2.5 million of these devices out there. And really, it's mind-boggling because, like we were saying, of course the NSA has powers that is unsurmountable. The amount of power that the NSA uses just in the city of Salt Lake takes up more power than the actual city of Salt Lake. It's insane how much these people are obtaining our information from the federal level all the way down to your local police department. So really, this is not just a government-wide thing. This is such a state. And if local police officers have this device, then who else can have this device? And who else wants to be sitting outside of an apartment complex listening into your conversations of when you're leaving, when you're coming home, if the door's unlocked, if the door's open, where are the keys, if you have a hide-a-key and you're telling your child, hey, the key's underneath the rock in the front door, who's listening in on that conversation? So really, there's so many reasons why what we're doing right now is relevant. And thank you guys so much for being on this call.
Well, hey, John, real quickly before you leave us, I just have another screen up here, and I know that you have some inside knowledge about that facility over in Utah. And this is not just one. There's several out there. But the money that they're spending on this right now is just unbelievable. And I know that you have a little bit of information you'd like to share with people on that.
Right. Basically, they have a blank check to where they can spend as much money as they want. The size of the facility that Robert was talking about in Utah is roughly the size of, if you know what an IKEA store is or you know what a football stadium is, about the size of a football stadium. And it's just rows and rows and rows of servers, and they take up more power in that one area than the whole city of Salt Lake City. So you got to imagine that. You got to imagine the whole city of Salt Lake where they had the Olympics, and this NSA facility, this place is taking up more power than the whole city of Salt Lake. So yeah, I mean, and you got to think about the money that's being spent just to run that whole entire operation.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right, John. And listen, hey, thanks, because right now we've kind of talked about the problem. We want to talk about the solution because, bottom line is that there is a solution out there. And folks, we are very excited to have the owner, visionary, developer of the Kryptos communication. But before Steve comes on right now, I want you to realize that this screen that I have up here, About Tech, it was listed as the 5, there was a listing of the 5 must-have security apps. Kryptos came in number 1. Number 1 was Kryptos, the thing that you should have right now because of what it does. And, of course, Steve, you're on right now, correct?
Yes, I am.
Oh, great. Steve, would you mind telling everybody a little about Kryptos and a little about your background real fast?
Yes, be happy to. And first I'd like to say that I'm, all about personal privacy. And when we speak about personal privacy, I know a lot of times individuals will come around to the argument of, well, if you don't have anything to hide, what's the problem? Well, unfortunately, that views privacy really as a form of secrecy, and that really is not the case. And one thing I'd like everybody to think about a little bit is if I was sending something to any of you, and I'll use Robert as an example, if I sent something to you via FedEx or UPS or let's say the U.S. Postal Service, Robert, would you have any reason to believe that somebody would open it? Would that be kind of against the law as well as not seen as something that would normally happen?
No, I wouldn't expect anybody to get in my package.
Right, exactly. And so why is it that the government now feels that they can take all of the information that is coming across the internet, as well as the phone lines, whether it's an email or a phone call, and be able to record it and take that information. I mean, they don't do it with regular letters. I can guarantee you would notice if a letter had been opened that you've received. They don't do that, so why should they be allowed to do that with what we currently have? And my answer to that is they should not be. And until the laws turn around, that they change, that's the reason for a product like Kryptos. Of course, when I came out with the product back in 2010, little did I know, I never even imagined that the widespread corruption really that there is out there, as far as corruption of our laws, as far as them listening in, grabbing all the data and everything. I mean, it's like I was kind of a few years ahead of the curve when I came out with the product. Now, to tell you a little something about Kryptos, Kryptos is a voice over IP product. Some of you will know the term VoIP. Well, what we do is we digitize the voice stream, and once we've got it into the digital state, of course this is all happening in microseconds, we then encrypt that data stream before it leaves the handset. We use a type of encryption called 256-bit AES encryption, and that's the same type of encryption that the military uses. It's the same type of encryption that the NSA tells government officials. If you're going to talk about top secret information, you have to do it with this type of encryption. That's how good it is. Now, one thing I'd like to touch on is that a lot of people have asked me before, even had the question today, how is this product legal? Well, telecommunications industry, of which we are not a part of, is governed by a law called CALEA. It's the Communications Assistance Act for law enforcement. And what CALEA says is that anybody that's in the telecommunications industry, whether it's a piece of hardware, a switching device, or if it's a carrier, AT&T, Sprint, Verizon, such as those, they have to provide backdoor access. Now, if you're a substantial replacement for the telecommunications industry, and they define that as, can you dial a landline? Can you dial a cell phone? Can you dial a phone number? Can you dial 911? If you can do that, you're considered to be a substantial replacement, of which Skype, if you have a Skype account, which is also a VoIP product, they have to provide backdoor access, and it's well known that Skype does do that. So our product is none of the above. You couldn't call 911 if your life depended on it. You couldn't call up Pizza Hut and order a pizza if you wanted to. This is a user-based system in which the user can download the product on their own mobile device. Matter of fact, it doesn't even have to be on a phone, much less a phone with service. You can put it on a tablet device. You can put it on an iPad. You can put it on an iPod Touch. You can put it on an Android tablet device. Matter of fact, I was in Costco this weekend and happened to see that Samsung now has an Android tablet out that is around $130 at Costco right now. You could put it on that device. So that's why I'm saying we're not a part of the telecommunications industry. We're an app that sits on a tablet or smartphone and allows for a conversation to occur. And we secure that, of course, with the military-grade encryption. So that's our product. We really, really appreciate the opportunity to work with QxStart and all the distributors who are coming up with just some amazing ways of marketing our product. I'm just, every day there's something new that comes out that just amazes me at the skill set of the distributors out there, which is why we've teamed with QxStart.
Hey, Steve, not so fast. I want to hang on to you for a minute here. I've got another screen up here, and the Department of Commerce. Are you having to produce some reports for that that agency right now, and why?
Yes, I actually have to file a report every year. We had to get approval from them to actually distribute the product outside the United States, and as you can see on the screen, there are 5 countries in which our product cannot be shipped, which is Cuba, Iran, Sudan, North Korea, and Syria. We've actually had downloads in over 130 countries. Of course, there's a lot of countries where we may only have 1 or 2 users, which again is why we've teamed with QxStart to get our product known by the masses. You know, it's because up until now it's just been somebody that's actually decided, you know what, I need to look for a product like this, and they start doing searching, and then they find our product. especially in some of the countries that I can't even pronounce, that I've never heard of before. But yes, that is true. We have to file annual reports.
Absolutely. Well, great. Well, Steve, you just talked about, and we've kind of alluded to at the beginning of this call, that we're seeing more and more team members that are putting stuff out there right now to promote Kryptos and to promote QxStart. And on our front page of the help and support site, which is our QxStartHelp.com, if you look at the front page right there, we actually have just loaded up another video right underneath the one that's going to be airing on American Airlines planes for 4 months starting in April. Again, like I said, the commercial that you put together that's going to be airing on all American Airlines planes starting on April for 4 months, we put the video right underneath there, and I would urge everybody, when you get off the call, go right to that page and click on that video, because the person that put that up there did a very good job. We didn't learn about this until just a few minutes ago, and we've all been kind of scamming around and watching it, so we thought it was really good, because we're finding out every day that our team members, the people that have partnered with us, are actually pushing this globally right now. So we're really, really excited about that. So let me kind of talk.
I was also going to mention real quick that for anybody that maybe can't think of the QxStartHelp.com as far as the URL goes, that you do have it available right on the front of the QxStart website, the link to the help page.
You know that you're absolutely right, and that's what I'm going to talk about right here. Because if you go to the Kryptos site, if you go to the QxStart site, and you go there and you look at that gold bar right there, that first spot, which is, it's going to actually pop right out there, which is QxStart support site. If you click on it right there, it's going to take you right over to the help site anyway, right where we were talking about. So you're actually going to be able to go there. So either type it in or just go right there, and you'll be ready to rock and roll at that point. So folks, we talked about the problem, and we've talked about the solution. What we want to do is spend a few moments and kind of talk about how this can financially benefit you to help this make this kind of worldwide movement that is starting to happen right now. So if you want to get involved, you can actually get involved in a bronze, silver, or gold level. I'm going to tell you right now, the gold is where you're going to make the most money, but it's your personal choice on where you want to go. But for this webinar, I'm going to kind of specifically talk about gold and explain how that works for you. So if you get involved, you're going to pay $159. That $59 is really for your yearly web fee and for the $10 that goes to the ProPay. That's how you receive your money every week. They're going to send you a MasterCard debit card, but you can also, within about 24 hours, transfer it for 30 cents, regardless of the amount, directly to your bank account. The last thing is you're spending $100 of that $159 on 10 Kryptos activation codes. Now, what does this do? It allows you to earn $4 on every person that is in your matrix based on your qualifying level. As I go to these next screens, I'll kind of explain what those qualifying levels are. But here's the best part. Once you do that and you're a gold member, anybody that you sign up that becomes a gold member, you get an instant $50. Now, when I say instant, does it mean right then it jumps in your bank account? No. What it does mean is that anything from Monday to Sunday, the following week is when you get paid on it. So what is that $50 paid on? It's half of the $100 that the people are paying for the Kryptos codes. Plain and simple. It's not on the sign-up fee or anything else. It's half of that initial Kryptos code purchase what you're receiving. The other thing that we wanted to talk about real quickly is this is a 2x3 matrix with 6 bonus levels. I'm going to go over this. I'm going to go over this really quick so that everybody kind of gets a basic understanding. But here's what that means. When you kind of dig down in there, this is what a 2x3 looks like. It starts with you. You have a right and a left side, and then it kind of goes down 3 levels. Everybody having 2. So if you look in there, if you actually sign up and you only bring one person in, your personal matrix will start looking like this. If you went ahead, and I'm going to come back here a second, if you went ahead and you brought in 2 people, then you would actually start filling both sides. So it really depends on what you need to do. But how could that other side get filled? Person above you could bring somebody in because this is a forced matrix and it'll start flowing down. But if you only have one person, again, you're only going to be able to qualify down 3 levels. If you bring in more people, the further down is where you're going to be able to go, and that's where you're going to make the serious money. So I'm going to kind of go to this next screen here quickly. Everybody starts free, because when you sign up, you can actually start selling cryptos till the cows come home, and you can make 20% on everything you sell. But that's not really where the serious money is. The serious money is if you get involved and you become a gold member. And I'm going to bring this over here real quickly. As I brought this up, if you notice there's different levels there. There's A, B, C, and all the way down to G. Based on the number of people that you personally sponsor, if you look over on the left-hand side, we have 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, 12, and 20. For explanation, I'm going to talk about 6 right now. 6 is kind of a key number. If you bring in 6 people that are gold members, that means, 1, you no longer have an auto ship. It means you're going to get 10 Kryptos codes every month, and it's going to cost you nothing. But what does that do for you? If you follow line 12 all the way over at the $4 rate because you're gold, that means there's a potential of $32,000 that you could receive. That's based on a little over $8,000 people potential in the matrix right there. Is that going to be an exacting number? No. I'm going to tell you right now, there's going to be different fallouts and holes and things like that. But what if it was half? I mean, seriously, it'd be like $16,000 a month. That's not really bad. But keep in mind, if you went ahead and got 20 people in, and here's what's really important, you can actually drive that all the way down. Well, what if you went ahead and you brought in 10 people in your first 30 days? There's a bonus level there. It changes that $4 rate on anybody that's gold in your matrix to 5. Notice what it does to that 32,000? It brings it up to 40. What if you repeated that for a second 30 days? So in a total of 60 days, you brought in 20 people. That means that it makes anybody in your matrix, instead of $4, is $6. As you can see, the numbers change dramatically. And as they get deeper, the more important they are. But here's the key thing. When you've done that, you have met all the qualifications all the way down to where you can maximize this pay plan. Very, very important right there. So real quickly, how do you sign somebody up? You're going to be given an address, and I'm going to use one for an example here. Dane, one of our top distributors right now, he has dane.qxstart.com. So you would type in that address, you would then go to the link, and you would see your website up there. You would then click on the Join Now, which then you would see that URL in your browser. All you have to do is click on there and highlight it so that it looks like this, and then basically go Control C for copying. You would hold down the Control key, and then you would click on the letter C, which would copy it. At that point in time, let's assume that you've set up an email or a Word document that you're going to be sending out to a lot of people. You would then want to go ahead and paste that URL in there so that you could kind of rapidly put this out to different people. So you would click where you want it to be, and you would click on the Control key and tap the letter V. That would paste it right in. Very, very simple. Why would we want to do that? Because when they click on that link, they're going to go right to the page that has your information on there. Again, for demonstration purposes, we just went ahead and used Dane's right now, because you see it would go right there and it would have your name right there, your distributor ID. So as soon as the people filled everything out, click Submit, boom, they're right in there with you. Now, as soon as that happens, the system is automatically going to put them into ProPay. And this is great because we pay so fast here at QxStart. That means that somebody that got in right now, today is Monday, that they could bring in people and their people could bring in people, and both of them could actually be earning money as soon as next week. Not 30 days from now, not 60 days from now, not a percentage of what they earn, but the entire amount they could be paid on next week. That's what's very important right there. So that's really what we're doing right now. This is what's we got everybody very excited. I think that video that we saw has just got us really buzzing, and we're just very happy with everything that's happening right now. John, I know you wanted to say a few words before we got wrapped up tonight, because we've got a call here at 9:30 with another group.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Robert. And Steve, this is just such an amazing opportunity for everybody, and really, if you guys take a moment